Hi, and we're live again with my wonderful Learn and Grow Snappy Chats. And I'm Christine Bell. I'm a customer strategist, but we're not here to talk about me. We're here to talk about what it takes to make it in your own little business. And from my own experience, having been in my own business for 8 to 9 years, I know that it can be a really lonely ride, which is why I started these Snappy Chats, because most of us are going through the same challenges at one point or the other. So why not learn and grow together? Why not come together so we don't feel so alone and we can learn from each other, we can co-create with each other, and we can grow together. And with this in mind, I've got the most amazing guest today. Her name is Jackie Hallberg. She is just so beautiful. I absolutely love her energy. I love what she does. She's going to tell you more about it. She's totally awesome. She reminds me of Brene Brown, which is someone I'm a huge fan of. And she's just got the same energy, and it's just beautiful. And she's all about helping people in the correctional system who are re-entering life and wanting to make the best of the rest of their life. So let's, with that in mind, bring her on and she can tell you a lot more. Hello, my friend.
Hello. Thank you for an amazing introduction.
You're welcome. It's so deserved. I really do think so. You're amazing. So tell us a little bit more about yourself, Jackie, and what you do, because you do many things and you are so wonderful in terms of helping literally make the world a better place.
I appreciate that so much. So I'm Jackie Hallberg. I'm over in Michigan, and I do a couple different things. By day, I run a nonprofit, which is working with people that have committed crimes or are in conflict with other people, and we try to make it a smoother process for them. I'm actually in the building. We just had a great family night where people that are housed in our local jail got to actually break bread, have dinner with their families, and we actually had one of our judges here. He actually came and met some of the families, and we had our jail captain here. It's really about building community. So on top of that, because that is tough work, but I only do that here in my community, I developed a side business to help women travel safer because that's fun. But then I realized my day job is so much my passion: re-entry, restorative justice, helping people make changes that make such a difference in the community. It's really my passion. So I started Home Re-Entry Services, which is all about doing training and consultation for other jails and correctional facilities throughout the entire United States. But I mean, if you want me in your country too, by all means, I'd be happy to go to Australia. Any countries that want me, I've got 20 years of experience doing that. Let me help people get out of the issues that kind of prevent progress in different communities.
I just love what you do. And it's so important because, once you've been put in a system, to break out of that stigma, to break out of whatever we feel about ourselves, break out from our past, we need help. We need society. We need community, like you said. We need other people to stand with us because it's a tough journey. Life is a tough journey on our own, let alone when we've had a lot of trouble or difficulties. And that's not just for the person, but also the families, isn't it? So I love what you do.
Thank you. And we need to feel wanted as a human. When we start to feel like we're not bringing value or people don't treat us like we have value, that's when we start making not great decisions. So when a community is welcoming to people and they're welcoming to their families, it makes such a big difference on saying, wow, I can make a difference. I can make better decisions. And I want our world to be so much safer and happier and healthier that's why I do what I do. I know I'm smiling when I'm talking about this, and this is tough stuff. We're talking about people that are incarcerated and taken from their families and their communities, sometimes for decades. But it's so important to remember that they're still human. Their families are still here. How can we support and make sure it's the best experience for them and the whole community when they come back? So that's why I do what I do.
Just love it. And this opportunity to redefine ourselves, because if we get stuck in one persona, in one judgment, in one way, it's very hard to move out of that. And I want to move on to, as much as this is, I love what you do, let's talk about it from a business perspective as well. And I just want to say hello to Melissa, who's here. Thank you for being here with us. I think it's so important in business as well, wherever we come from. We're going to go ups and downs are inevitable in business, There's a lot of challenges, and part of it is not getting stuck in our own judgment, not getting stuck in our own definition of ourselves. We need to be allowed to redefine ourselves, just like the people that you help in your work,
Oh my gosh, you are so right about that, especially when we want to hold ourselves back because we compare ourselves to other people doing similar work, or maybe they've been doing it longer than us, or they have a different personality or experience. So totally can hold you back.
Yeah, and I love that because we talked about, before we came on, we talked about one of the challenges that you faced. And tell us a little bit more of one of the challenges you faced in building your own business in a very unique space.
Oh, yeah. So, the cool thing is I am the biggest hype woman ever. I will support everybody. I will encourage you to just go out and just take the bull by the horns, whatever you want to call it. But when it comes to me, I find all the reasons that maybe I should just sit back and still do what I've always done and let other people take the limelight or let other people start being more innovative. And so that's one of my challenges that I've started working through the past few months, is really reminding not just myself, but reminding my value. So it's like reminding myself my value, but reminding the value to the broader community, to say, I don't just have to do work that I've always done with the people I've always done. It's time to branch out. It's time to remind everybody that we have skills above just our normal communities. And so that was one of the challenges I've been really working on, is how do you redefine yourself? And part of it's this beautiful LinkedIn community. It's like reaching out, networking, finding out who are the people that value your voice and who are the people that don't even know your voice is out there, and how can you kind of reach out to them and let them know who you are and why you bring value that's different than what other people bring.
You know what? I've gone through the exactly same challenge, and I still am going through exactly the same challenge. And it was this thing. I grew up with a low self-esteem, yeah. But I was quite comfortable in the work I was doing. I was quite comfortable within the agency side, etc. But then suddenly when you're in your own business, you actually have to step out and up in yourself. You have to find your confidence. You have to find your voice. And of course, I then was doing my work until the last, and suddenly I had to find it on social media. And I remember putting my first video out, and I was so nervous. And I was doing the video, I edited like 700 times, but I put it out anyway. And I just wrote, hello, let me introduce myself. And guess what? I got 23,000 people looking overnight. And I got so much support from the LinkedIn network from complete strangers. And I thought, you know what? There is an opportunity. The only one who's holding me back is me, yeah? And yes, I need practice. Yes, I need to learn. I didn't just get to do Snappy Chats. That took me a little bit of, confidence and practice. Everything is practice, I think. But you know what? We've got to put ourselves out there. We've got to trust that we have something to, like you said, we have something of value to add to others beyond what we've done our whole life. It's okay to redefine ourselves. It's okay to grow in ourselves. It's okay to raise our voice and say, I'm here, and if you like it, let's connect.
Yeah. And why would somebody want to trust you or value your product if they can tell that you're nervous or uncomfortable even explaining it, or that you're like, I do this even though they do it too, So I love that you've built your confidence too. I think it's amazing when you look around and you can see people where they first started talking about their business idea and now they're like living it and breathing it. It just feels so good. And I love you doing it. I love that you've grown enough to do this every single week. I think it's great. You can't tell that you would have ever been nervous doing that. I love it so much.
It all takes practice, yeah. And I think sometimes, we have this idea of who we want to be, who we could be. We can see it somewhere, our potential, yeah. I think we all have access to our potential if we're willing to see it. But it's just a matter of, okay, how do you go from here's my potential to how do I step into it? And for me, it's a step-by-step process. It's practicing.
And practice is so important because, we tend to think, well, we should be the expert because this is our business. This is what we want. But we have to practice to understand how other people are going to receive us and how other people want to hear our messages too. So even if we know exactly what we're talking about, we have to practice it to different audiences because they may not use words like reentry for me. And some of the business words you do might be a little different for me being in the nonprofit type of side and everything. So I love that you use practice. And I think it's a way that you can grow because as you learn new things, you develop this more, not just confidence, but the understanding of where you want to take your business.
It is so true. And I actually do work in this space myself as well. But, even for me, I've had to do it for myself as well. It's not like I just go, yeah, I get this. Yeah. There's one thing working with others and then finding your own voice as well. And what that sounds like, how it talks in different ways to different people, because you're absolutely right. There's practice in this, and there's also just being really clear on what we're about and then learning how to communicate that in different ways. So it resonates not just with other people, but also aligns with who we are and what our product and service is.
I love it. It's so true. And we all have a product to give, whether it's our time, whether it's our brain power or something like that. And we give it in a different way. And some people might understand the way I give it is totally different than somebody else that says they do the exact same thing. Just like the services you offer, they might make so much sense to me. But if I went to somebody else saying the same thing, I'd be like, I don't understand what you're talking about. So I love that we can kind of like like invent ourselves to the right way that it feels good for us.
Yeah, exactly. And then it becomes authentic. So it becomes actually very natural. And guess what? I believe from what I've learned, and I love there's so many people here who's talking in the comments. So thank you so much. We really appreciate it. Yeah, it's all about really finding that confidence within yourself. And that the more we connect with ourselves and our business and who we are and how we want the value, like you just said, the value we add to others, and learning and trusting the value we add that you mentioned earlier, we will find that voice. We will find it in a way where we have it with confidence. Yeah.
Absolutely. And people like confident people. Now, we don't want to like the cocky people necessarily, but when you're confident in what you do, if I came to you and needed help with my business, Kristen, I would be like, oh my gosh, she's got it all together. She knows she can elevate my business, and I can sit back and be like, thank you. I can relax a little bit. I can look at things differently, which is so powerful. Now, if I went to you and you're just like, I need to look into that a little bit longer. I'm not so sure. What was your question again? Why would I trust you,
Yeah, and you're so right, because it comes back to the human psychology and who we are as humans. And ultimately, most of us, there are some of us who are real risk takers, but most of us are very much about feeling safe, yeah, as humans. That's like our natural instinct is to let me feel safe. So if we come out and talk to people, like you said, and we don't know what we're saying, and we don't know if we can help others, and we don't trust that, how they're going to feel safe in our energy, in our presence. Yeah. And it's all about making people feel safe. And I'm sure it's the same for your clients right now, both in terms of the people you help in the correctional system, but also people you help with the traveling on their own. Yeah. It's about making them feel safe and confident, isn't it?
Yeah. I think the number one killer of dreams, of just about everything, is fear. Some of us were brought up to be very fearful humans. We were fearful of people that didn't look like us, or going to places we'd never been. We were fearful of being embarrassed in front of people, or we were fearful of people rejecting us or not liking us. And that fear has held so many people back. And so if we go to somebody and we want them to take our fears away, and they're not doing it, I'm probably going to just hold myself back. I'm not going to move forward myself. I might not trust another person to offer a different thing. So it's like, when you put your shingle out there, when you say, this is a business I do, and you're not confident, and it's okay to say, this isn't something I do, I need to send you to somebody else. That's different than saying, I don't know, maybe I can help you, so really you're helping people in so many other ways, because if they were fearful to come to you and then you're not giving them what they expected or what could help them move forward, it's almost like they're going to kind of be closed off. And then it's not even that they might not be a client anymore. We might really hold them back. So that's something that I always try to think about when I'm working with people, to never make somebody in a worse space than when I met them.
You and I are so aligned, and I didn't even know this. I kind of felt that we were, but I didn't even know that in my work, I've seen in life, we can all see this, and it's worked for many years. I came from a background in advertising. Fear sells. There's no doubt about fear can sell, and a lot of people are in fear. So we can go in and do fear. And we've seen that in the media playing out. They play it out a lot But what I truly believe in is, if I want to create loyal customers, if I want to create relationship long-term, if I want to really help my clients, yes, I need to be confident and capable of what I do to help them. There's no doubt about it. We need the skills. But my big job is to make them feel good about them.
Yes.
Isn't that what you do as well with people?
Yeah, we need more people that are happy with themselves internally. If you can be happy with yourself and move past that fear or that kind of that uncomfortable feeling about getting yourself out there, your happiness is going to trickle out to other people, and it's going to help them realize, I can make different decisions. I can move forward. Maybe I could be a business owner, or, hey, at least I can be happy trying something new, instead of feeling, you're stuck back in that, oh, you're only supposed to do this, or you're meant to do this, or you might not be good at this. So I love that we're out. I think we've been aligned probably since birth. We just didn't know that we were aligned like this until we started talking.
We just didn't know each other. Yeah. And I just see Dr. Constance is on here. She said, fear is only powerful if you let it take over you. And I totally agree with that. Unfortunately, there are quite a few people out there that still does that. But I think for me, like you're just saying, and you're doing it beautifully in your job, is I'm about building people up. I'm not about taking people down. I'm about helping people find their inner confidence, just like I've had to find mine. And part of it is obviously their own work. They have to do their own work. But if I can help in any way and form to make people feel good about who they are and what they bring to this world, That I see is my biggest job in what I actually offer people. And I think you do the same, even though we do it very differently.
But we're basic humans. I mean, we're humans helping humans no matter what our career field is, no matter what our passion is. You either help them because you truly care, or you help them because you're trying to take advantage of them for some reason. And that's never going to happen with me.
Exactly. You just nailed it there. It's either, some corporations do it because they're taking advantage, and some people are doing it. Many people, especially small business owners, a lot of us has come from a difficult background or a difficult workspace. And we've had the guts to step out and say, no more. I'm going to find my voice. I'm going to find what I'm great at. And I'm going to try and help as many people as possible to change the world for good. And I truly believe that most people in this world are good people.
I do too. Sometimes they forget that they're good people, though, because they've had kind of some not so nice life situations happen on them. So I love that you think that way too.
Exactly. I mean, we all, some people have gone through and I lived in Africa for a while, and I've seen people who have grown up with absolutely the worst of the worst situation you could possibly imagine. And yet they would still give you their last piece of bread or share it with you.
That's huge. That's huge. And I think we, in society, whether, like you said, it's because of the media, because of the political climate, whether it's because of that fear that we have not outgrown and we have let it take control over us, we've gotten so distanced from that human connection. And people can feel that feeling. Sometimes your gut reaction is just not as good, or you just feel like that extra tension in your shoulders. You go to bed and you're miserable, you toss and turn, or you wake up a lot, or you're not rested in the morning. A lot is because you're not in a good space yourself. You're not feeling like you want to move forward, or you're stuck, or you're taking advantage of people. So it's like, come on, let's just make our business be amazing without taking that advantage,
Exactly. And I love the whole human connection. And if you don't mind, I'll share something that I actually talked to Melissa about yesterday from the house. But it was such an amazing experience I had. I was in South Africa in 97, I think it was 97, and I was writing my master thesis for my master degree. And I had the opportunity to go out to Soweto. And I was invited into their home, this beautiful couple's home. And the lady of the house was actually having a session with other ladies that day that she invited me to. And there was about 10 of us. And I sat in the circle with these beautiful ladies. They were all starting a business. And they were all helping each other, one business at a time, to start it and build it with them.
That's amazing.
So the day I was there, and it's all co-creation and collaboration. And I think that's a huge thing in terms of human connection and collaborating and co-creating to build something bigger. They were going around. The day I was there was a lady there. She wanted to be a clothing designer. So she was designing clothes, and she wanted to start a store in Soweto. So they were all sitting around going, okay, who can help with the materials? Who can help with the sewing? Who can help with the design? Who can help with this building the store? And that's how they went around, one person at a time. So they would spend time on building her business, then they move on to the next person.
That's amazing. That is how we make growth. That's how we make connection. That's how we support other people. When you say this word co-creation, and it's like, even tonight, you and I talking about this, our job worlds are so different, but yet when you bring them in, they're so similar, and helping and supporting each other. That crosses every kind of line that you get. So I love hearing that story, but I love the fact that that's really happening. And when you are doing things on your own, it's so much more difficult. It's like, how do you know who to go to for material and who's going to get you the best deals and stuff? It's like, if you can use that group knowledge, it's powerful stuff, and y'all win.
And this is why I love the House of Business, where I met you through the House of Business, and Mike Asher-Brown. So a big shout out to him and all the people who are here from the House right now listening in. Thank you so much. And this is what I see and love about what he's building with the House, is this opportunity. As much as we want to take part in it, there is an opportunity beyond making money to actually just come together and help each other and co-create together and collaborate. And like you just said, we're great on our own, but if we can come together, we can grow together much further.
Absolutely. Yeah. And you probably made a really good friend out of it too.
Exactly right. And it can get really lonely in business. So, let's not forget that friendship is really important, especially, and I must say on LinkedIn, I've been on LinkedIn for many years, but I only really got myself out there one year and 8 months ago, something like that, quite literally. And since then, I have made so many friends on LinkedIn. It's unreal. In terms of people I've literally connected with straight on LinkedIn, and then we've had a Zoom, and the next thing I know, I've got a new friend. Sometimes I have a client too, but
and
mostly I have friends.
We can be in two totally different countries and still feeling the same vibe and wanting to support each other. And without LinkedIn, it wouldn't be the same, because on other social media, it's just not the same connections. Love it.
It's absolutely not. And it's so interesting that LinkedIn is different in that way. But I think it's also what people make it. Yeah. Maybe they have the right tools to set it up. But then I think, well, probably the other social media have similar tools. But I think there's something about LinkedIn, because we're coming often together, especially small business owners are coming to LinkedIn to obviously build their reputation, build their value, build their exposure. This is what the beautiful Dr. Constance CJ is all about, helping you amplify your voice. So we all come with the different skills. And when we connect together, this is where suddenly we can really amplify each other.
Yeah. And just seeing all the people in the comments tonight, Kristen, I mean, it's like, come on, these are some amazing humans, whether they're in the hounds, whether they've been active on LinkedIn, whether they're just supporting other people. They lift us up and they make us remember that our voice is valued and that we have a connection, even if we don't do the same kind of work or we need to support each other in terms of like being a customer or not. Very cool stuff. I love seeing it tonight.
It's all about being seen, heard, and acknowledged. There's nothing we as human beings appreciate more.
I love that.
And it's the acknowledged part, regardless of our past. If we can acknowledge other where they're at right now and spend time with them, being quiet and listening to them, and then just meet them where they're at.
Oh, that's
for me, this is the most powerful thing we can all learn to do.
It's so hard to listen to people when our brains are so busy all the time. And I value people that actually take the time and they remember what you say. They want to lift you up without you having to ask for anything. And that's what I hope to give back as much as possible as well. It's a good feeling.
See, this is why we come together. We're so aligned and we didn't even know it. But now we met on LinkedIn and we met through the Hounds of Business. And there's so amazing people in the Hounds of Business. You know, it's just wonderful as a community to get to know each other, and LinkedIn in general as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I really appreciate your time today. Before we finish up, and I love this conversation and we can continue forever, so maybe we have to do another session at some point. But with the interest of time, because everyone is busy these days, what, if anything, are there any last advice you want to give? Because I think we have talked most of it. If there's any last advice, and also anything that's coming up that you want to promote or tell us about, so we can get to know you even better.
Yeah. So for advice, I encourage you to get involved in coming to things like this live event, going to audio events on LinkedIn, really kind of stepping out of your normal everyday people you talk to, because that's where you really grow. That's how you learn how other people receive your energy. They receive the information you're trying to share. So really, that's my biggest advice, is learn how to connect with people that aren't your normal people. Get some diversity, really learn what other people really, really value and what their needs are. And it's huge compared to just talking to your friends or talking to your normal circle. A couple things I have coming up with Amy and Kinsey tomorrow night, at least in our time zone, is 7 or 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, is Wishful Wednesday. It's actually a chance, any business owners, anybody that's starting a business, you can come out and shout your business out. You can talk about upcoming workshops. You can talk about any books you have that are released. You can also talk about wishes you have for your personal self, whether it's a family member going through medical issues or whether you're going through some personal struggles. It's not a therapy group. It's just a chance to get those wishes out into the world and find some really cool people to connect with that are in the room. I also do Voices in Reentry every fourth Sunday of the month. We just did it last Sunday. So if you're not really sure what I meant in the beginning about corrections and working with people when they're getting out of jail and prison, really come to that room or reach out to me. Through my home reentry services, I can do consultation work. I can do it virtually. I can come to the communities, because each community deserves to grow and have healthier, safer individuals in it. So those are two of the big things that I really love to shout out, is those two rooms. But next month, I'm actually going to be part of an anthology that's going to be released. I'm so excited. You mentioned Dr. CJ. She's the one that's being the editor and publisher and everything for us. So super excited with that. Another Hounds of Business connection. And then I'll be a presenter with the Virtual Wellness Summit that is coming up in March. It'll be March 22nd and 23rd. There's 2 days full of amazing wellness type of programming. You can talk yoga. You can talk about poetry. You can talk about burnout is going to be the topic I talk about, and talking about different ways to take care of yourself physically and mentally, because you can't just work yourself 24 hours a day to get your business going if you're not healthy inside. So that's what I've got coming up. Feel free to connect with me.
I hear you. Coming from a background of burnout, didn't even know I had it until I realized I was reading all of Brene Brown's books, and I'm like, I need some help. And then I realized what was going on. So I love what you do, because it's all about community, it's all about connection, it's all about helping people grow in themselves and reaching where they want to go, isn't it? So love it. So thank you for shouting out, and thank you so much for being here today. I really appreciate your time. Thank you for everyone here. There's just so many people on here, so we really appreciate it. And I will make sure that we also put your stuff in the comments. And can you come into the comments as well and put any links in that you want to, so everyone can easily find everything that you're talking about today.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you, creating space for people that are business owners. We appreciate you. I thank you for your time.
I thank you for even wanting to be on here. I really appreciate it. And I can't wait to be back in America at some point so I can meet you all in person.
Yes, for sure. Take care.
Take care.